food, and then the regular programs, inshallah. So do encourage everyone to come and attend and to participate, inshallah. And as anytime we do have a program here at SABA, we do have children program going on. Can we go to the children's program slide, please? For those who don't know what age groups we have the programs for, we have 5 to 9, 9 plus, and also 3 to 5. And we have different locations here listed as well. So please, if you know anyone who wants to go or kids that are looking to go, please, you can head to those locations, inshallah. We also, because of the raging fires that are happening in Northern California, SABA is collecting food for those brothers or for those families who have been displaced. So please do donate. If any donation that you guys bring, you guys can put it in the library on the brother side. And on the sister side too, we ask that you send it over with somebody and put it on the brother side in the library, so we have all the collection in one location, inshallah. And then also on Saturday, October 21st, SABA Youth Group is doing working with Huwais Hussein, 40 Acts of Kindness. They'll be serving lunch at Montgomery Street in homeless shelter from 11:30 to 2:30. And they are asking for volunteers to sign up. So please, if there's a SYG, send an email out. If you're not on the email list, you can come find me or Sister Fatima or Sister Ilma or Sister Naseem Rangwala on the sister side. On the brother side, you can come see me or Brother Hasnan or Brother Ali Musa. That is again Saturday, October 21st from 11:30 to 2:30 at Montgomery Street in homeless shelter. So please do sign up beforehand, because we have a limited number of volunteers that can go, that they want there for serving the food, inshallah. With that, inshallah, please, I would like to welcome back our speaker who is here with us from LA. We're very blessed to have him, so please help me invite him up with a loud salawat.
Salam, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. For the honor of our fourth Imam, Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi السلام, recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Before we start our topic of Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq, if you remember last night I said inshallah in the next 4 nights, each night we will pick one of the authentic traditions and supplications by Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, and we examine part of that. A quick Islamic reminder, and also kind of refresh our memories on the concept of ahkam as well. Parts of process of wudu or ablution. When it comes to wudu, we know about how to do it, what is mustahab, what is recommended, what is an obligation, but there is this major confusion out there that I've noticed people ask me this question. For example, you hold a bottle for someone else to make wudu. Is it first of all permissible to do that? And second of all, does that affect the validation and correctness of the person who's receiving basically? According to Islamic law, it's not permissible for someone who's physically capable, is healthy enough to do the wudu by themselves, to be assisted by anyone. And if someone actually assists you in that process, your wudu will be invalid and batil. What I mean by that, let's say somebody wash your face for you, wash your hand for you, directly to reach water to your hands, face, wherever you have to do. Your hand on your head and do the mass using your own hand. but they are the one directing you. All these cases is not permissible to be done independently by the person who's doing it. But when it comes to preparation for wudu, including water, is not going to impact the correctness. What I mean by that, if somebody hold a bottle for you, or let's say in a case of hose, somebody hold a hose for you when you are washing your hand and face, that is permissible, but is makruh, is not recommended. It's better to do it yourself, to use the bottle yourself, but if somebody else does it for you, but makruh, not recommended to use any form of assistance even in that case. There is exception for those who are not able to do it due to the sickness or some disability. In those cases, there are exceptions. And that's an independent topic. So hopefully that's enough for tonight's reminder. It's between getting assistance in the process of wudu and getting help in the process of receiving, let's say, water. If somebody, as I said, assists you in the process of mass or washing directly, then it will be invalid. Any question? I hope I didn't create and cause any confusion. So it was clear? Alhamdulillah. Okay. Recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. In the concept of ethic and akhlaq, which the translation of the word akhlaq to ethic or morality is not a very precise translation, but this is the closest we have. There is this subject out there in humanities. Under the philosophy, you have this subject and there's a subterm, which they call ethics, philosophy, or ethics philosophy. What they discuss is, first of all, what is the role of ethics in our lives? What is the importance of it? They defend the presence of ethics in our lives, and even they offer solutions to ethical conclusion that categories that usually philosophers, they pursue one of these topics. One is meta ethics, one is normative ethics, and the last one is what applied ethics. My speech is to give you this introduction to be familiar that when we talk about akhlaq, there is a major difference what we call the akhlaq that Imam Sajjad alayhi salam is teaching us and what is being called ethic out there in universities and even classes under the name of philosophy. Let's call it the more of a modern way of explanation to the definition of ethics. So metaphysics is a topic, is a category in philosophy and ethics philosophy that discusses that what is the source of morality? Who is the authority that can tell us what is right and what is wrong? Is it divine, meta? Is it we consider a constant rule that it to any form of change of the time is a relative matter. That means something that ethically could be considered right today could be, considered wrong 200 years ago, or in this culture is considered right, and another culture could be wrong. or they call it relative ethics or relative morality, or moral relativism. That's what it's called. And what is the source of ethic? Where it comes from, we change. The second category of if you can practically give direction to people. What scholars in normative philosophy they try to achieve, and normative ethics they try to achieve, is that they tell you, you know, we have to have these certain habits, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to make these changes to our behavior. In business ethics, you probably, if you're in business major, you're familiar with that. They try to practically tell you direction how to utilize akhlaq or ethics. Consider motivational speakers, regardless of their religion, regardless of their language, most of them, their approach is to give you this sense of normative ethics, that how you can create changes in your daily life to create an impact on your own life and others' lives as well. And the third one is applied ethics. And that field, what they discuss is pretty much about the controversial issue. You know, abortion, such as homosexuality. These are the topics that are usually being discussed in ethics philosophy under the category of applied. What we see in the ethics and all these different levels, the purpose of akhlaq is to create a form of harmony between people for the sake of having a better life in this dunya, to be able to interact with one another in the best possible term. That's the reason you producer as a company owner as with minimizing the consumers, because your consumers are the one that eventually going to buy your product. So if you want your consumers to be happy, you need that, because without that you will not be able to have a successful business. So it's kind of a selfish purpose behind it. Creation. It's not about business, it's not about how to live. The reason, because we believe in, is without akhlaq, without ethics, a human being will be minimized and downgraded to a level of an animal. If you look at one of the first terminology and you define it, al-insanu huwa haywanun natiq. They used to define it this way. A human being is an animal which is capable of speech. This ability to have, able to express from an aql or wisdom or reflection. May Allah bless Allama Jawadi Amuli, Ayatollah Jawadi Amuli. He has this definition under examination, said this definition is not a perfect, and then he defined a human being not as a haywanun natiq. Said a human being is an animal, is the only animal which chose to, that when it comes to uluhiyya, who is your God, animal that will choose it. The other creatures of God, we believe yusabbihu lillahi ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard. We believe all the other creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, living, and even when we talk about objects, can't to choose. We can ignore our fitra and, God forbid, make the wrong call, or we can answer to the call of our fitra, our innate call, and accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what makes us very unique. And in akhlaq, we are God's ability to maintain this ethic regardless of what dilemma you face. And based on this definition, Islamic akhlaq or Islamic ethic is not relative at all. That in moral relativism, they tell you that akhlaq is nothing but social conventions that human beings made them. To make it easier to interact with one another, they call something and they call it akhlaq. But in Islamic definition, akhlaq is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and our nature appreciate them. When it comes to honesty, we believe every human being whose their soul is intact from corruption will appreciate honesty regardless of their faith. We believe every human being, regardless what school they went to, what language they speak, what culture they came from, if, as I said, they're not being corrupted. We're talking about somebody putting all the differences aside. Decent human, same examples apply to other ethical values and what we consider ethical diseases as well. And I encourage you, Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq by Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. Last night I mentioned tradition regarding the criteria of who is a mu'min. There was 5 criteria we discussed. Tonight we talk about part of Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq. It's not a very long dua. You can pretty much read it in a few minutes. But there were tradition books out there to meet the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman. Recite the salawat. And when he met the Imam, he asked 2 questions. One of them was, he was asking this question that, I have this habit of doing my prayers after I do my prayer. I have this doubt that maybe my prayer wasn't correct, or subhanahu wa ta'ala, I want a supplication that connects me the best way to Allah. And Imam stick to that. Spend the rest of the time on something else, do some mustahab. If Allah wanted you to do it twice, He will make that command. So avoid temptation and waswas. The second, when it comes to supplication, look at Imam Sajjad alayhi salam's supplication. If you want the best way to connect yourself to Allah in a form of dua, the best way is to learn from the teaching of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. Dua makalam, that even those who are not Muslim, when they read the translation, they will be inspired by that. One scholar, I encourage you to read a bit about her. She recently passed away a few years ago. Is Anna Marie Schimmel. She's a German scholar who studied Islam, specifically when it comes to the teaching of, passed away, gave on her of the Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam. And it's not as one of those myths that you hear. By the way, be careful. There are a lot of things being attributed to a lot of celebrities and all that. Double check before they say Steve Jobs, I don't know, believed in Islam before he died and stuff like that. Which, first of all, Islam is a way of haqq even if nobody follows it. The truth is truth regardless of the numbers. Imam Hussein alayhi salam is right even if it's 72 up to the number of people. Somebody who's not very familiar with Islam appreciates it, has a joy to know that. Schimmel, after the translation of Sayf al-Sajjadi came out in German, she regretted that why people of Germany are not able to take advantage of this book due to their limitation and their stubbornness to stick to only to their own script. And if they read this script, they see even as a Christian you can find a different level of praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if you don't want to, because look, she asked and she basically put in her will to engrave this sentence and on her, and that's what is all on her grave, by the way. And is in Arabic on her tombstone and also in German translated as well. Indeed, people are asleep and in the state of, seduced coma style. إِذَا مَاتُوا انْتَبَهُوا. When they die, they awaken. That truly the certainty comes for many people after the living. That in this dunya they're so obsessed with the unimportant matters that they forget how to live properly, that when they die, they actually, is like that they came back to life. And that's the reason Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahumma salli ala tamutu, said, die before they take your soul and make you die. Because what death does, it brings that sense of detachment from everything you have. When death happens, you know how insignificant our concern and was so important and was what considered to be honorable. Death happens, there is no way to return. That's Imam Ali Salam teaching that when you participate in funerals, when you participate in accompanying a body to the graveyard, is highly recommended. Imam Ali Salam said, recite this ayah. It's Surah Mu'minun. Allah said in Surah Mu'minun, they said, قَالَ رَبِّ ارْجِعُونَ. When they die, they ask Allah, I could have done many good things, many righteous deeds, but I didn't. Give me another chance to do them, to make up what I lost. Imam said, recite this, but stop here, because continuation of the verse is كَلَّا إِنَّهَا كَلِمَةٌ هُوَ قَائِلُهَا. When death happens, there is no way to go back. And imagine they are taking your body right now. That body is your body that's being carried by people. And when you come to that, قَالَ رَبِّ ارْجِعُونَ لَعَلِّي أَعْمَلُ صَالِحًا فِيمَا تَرَكْتُ, imagine that you are asking Allah right now, that day, that moment, to give you another chance. And Allah hypothetically told you, yes, I gave you another chance. That you were that deceased and now you came back to life. What are you going to do? What changes you're going to make in your life? Imagine that. Start from that, prior to that. So it's Du'a Makarim al-Akhlaq, or the honorable ethics. The honorable Makarim are the peaks of akhlaq. And there are even apps out there, you can take a look at it. And first start with Imam alayhi. Our dua are a clear reflection of who we are. Ibn Ziyad, and he's played one of the, and then he has this statement that every person's faith has a price. When this amount of money, and he said, no, I don't want money, I'm gonna do whatever I promised. When they go back to Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, used to tell him, every person's faith has a price. You probably didn't offer the right price. That was his belief. Sell the religion. And we should not mistake him. We do it we pay. And Allah said, I'm the best of rewarders. If you do something, I'm going to be the one who makes sure you get more than what you deserve. So you should not feel bad about, we're doing for the sake of gaining something. No, it is. Self-interest is important. But the question is, what is the price? And our du'as is a reflection of what is the price of our religion. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Best time to pray is when? Anyone knows? What is the best, valuable, when? In the morning is good, but there's one specific act that after that is highly recommended to pray. Adhan I heard. Prayers, salat. After salat is one of we have in tradition is closest time of ijabah. After your salat, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best time to ask Allah for something. And what we ask for, it shows what is the price that we're asking Allah for that prayer. And now what I'm going to ask for. What we ask for, as I said, is a clear manifestation of our faith. Needs that I have is going to be limited. Ask for from Allah is what? A bicycle. I don't think this generation is going to ask for a bicycle, but that's my generation. They used to ask for a bicycle. What is this generation pray for? Xbox? I promise you it's very hard to motivate this generation. How I know that? Because we have a lot of competition in different centers. And when we say, the first prize is iPad or the first prize is something like that, you will assume people feel some form of enthusiasm for it. But alhamdulillah, when you say this, no, I already have 2 of that. I don't need it. Same thing with Xbox. I remember I talk about Xbox and said, I have Xbox and PlayStation, so I don't need that. It's very hard to motivate. That you ask whatever you want. What to ask is important. That's what we should look up to Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. We are serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in reward, it's like imagine that those granted wish that we in our childhood to study. One mustajab dua, one dua that will be answered. Genuine, only Allah knows and I know. Only Allah knows. We have this statement that the Imam of our time helped people of Bahrain. Right now it was Bahrain, but prior to that, similar king, an oppressive king was ruling on Bahrain. And he has an advisor who was very anti-Shia. He was literally as Shias, or you have to convert all of you. You have to give up on Shiism, or I will prosecute and kill all of you. It's a famous story. Longest story short, they ask for certain days. Some said 3, some said 4 days. They ask to provide some form of answer. And in these 4 days, they choose the best of them to go and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask Imam to give him the answer. So the first day, first person went, didn't get anything. He went to he did all that is recommended to ask Imam. He got the answer. The answer was pretty much that just show him as a reason that the advisor of yours is corrupt. Because what he did, he brought this pomegranate, or the Ahlul Bayt or Batil. Has similar statement on the pomegranate, and the advisor was persuading the king that this is a miracle of God, and this pomegranate disappeared and it's natural. Embedded. So the Imam told him that this is fake. If you go to the basement and he put all the writing on that and he put it on, it will not be good. They broke the pomegranate, they find that also true. And from that, Shia, why you didn't give us the answer to ask for 4 days? You did. You didn't trust me enough to ask for 1 hour, and I will give you the answer in 1 hour. Your faith was dependent, contingent to getting time. If your faith was strong, you would have get. What I mean by dua is this: Al-ajal ya mawlaya, to be back. Is that our need to the Imam is the need that we have to our rent? Is our need to the return of the Imam as important as our need to other materialistic need that we have? They say, Ya Allah, I really need this. Because we have in Quran, أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا. The Juz 20 of Quran is an ayah of Quran we recite for those who are sick or they have problems. We recite this ayah. Who beside Allah, the helpless, when the help and grief, you have to be helpless. Means you don't have a backup plan. I don't mean that you should not use the means that Allah placed for us. Beside Allah, no one can help me. And then I will pray to Allah to help me. That's what Muftar is. That any kind of problem we face in our lives, we said, first of all, Ya Allah, help me. Ya Allah, obstacle that I'm facing. And then I say, okay, Allah created human beings, give us the talent to be able to resolve. I go to doctor, I pursue solution in other ways. But our ultimate hope comes from Allah. Then peoples are the means to serve Allah's will. English? Can we? Always tell people Ahlul Bayt. Why? But we don't know better than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we recite the dunya and waqina adhab an-nar is the most inclusive prayer someone can make. Now whatever is considered good, beautiful, useful for me in this life, Ya Allah give me those. There are matters that I consider hasana, I consider them to be good, or the dua of makarim al-akhlaq is the same structure. So the first phrase I'm going to talk is this. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam said in dua makarim al-akhlaq, the honorable ethics, the peaks of ethics. Ni bizinat al-salihin. Ya Allah, adorn me, beautify me with the adornment of the reformers. Salih. Salih, reformer, is the one who wants to make changes for himself to be salih. And that's why, by the way, we're in Muharram, we see that Imam Hussein alayhi salam said the philosophy of my revolution is to make changes through Amr bil Ma'ruf Nahy Anil Munkar, to enjoin for good, to forbid from evil. But my ultimate intention is لِطَلَبِ الْإِصْلَاحِ فِي أُمَّتِي, that this ummah of the Prophet, I see corruption is happening, divergence happening, I'm here to fix that. So Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is salih. When you look at ziyarat of al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, when you go inshallah and do the ziyarah in Fadl Abbas, peace be upon you, O servant of God, which your intention was to, that's the importance of dua makarim al-akhlaq. Who are the salihin? The salihin are those that they already graduated from the stage of individualism. They already worked enough on self-building. Sajid. I my salat, my fasting. But I do my individual responsibilities. Such person, if they claim to learn from Imam Hussein alayhi salam, they didn't learn the basic message of Imam Hussein. Down in Medina, I said, I do ziyarat of Rasulullah every day. I have to do. somewhere that they are known for their lack of loyalty. They betrayed Imam Ali salam as well. And Imam salam said, because they are the one who raised their hand, and they can. And as a follower of Hussein alayhi salam, we cannot ignore the call of others for help. This call is not necessarily said, Mr. Ali, Sister Zainab, help me. It's not necessarily like that. But when we see people are suffering in different ways, when somebody is a sinner, they live a life of a sinner, a lifestyle of a sinner, Quran calls them zalim lin-nafs, pressing themselves. Even if they're not aware, they're suffering. And Amr bil Ma'ruf Nahy Anil Munkar is to help them to be safe from that lifestyle. And it's our responsibility to do reformation in the best possible way. To be part of the change. Is and cover me with the covering of those who consider muttaqeen, pious, God conscious. Libasu taqwa, because the clothing, what it does is to protect us against the heat, cold, possible harm from external causes. Taqwa's purpose is the same thing. The purpose of taqwa is, number one, cover up our flaws. As a human being, we have all these desires. We have lust, we have anger, we have all these natural forces within us. Perfection and beauty out of them. It's true about protecting us against the possible threat, external threats. We are being tested on a daily basis. Same way the previous nation were tested, you will be musibah, those trials, those tribulations. And taqwa is a way that it impacts the way we think, the way we do business, the way we behave and interact with our families and friends. That's what taqwa is. Taqwa is, what are the speeches to the point? What else? They stay away from haram. What else? They do their duties. What they are expected to do? What else? The subject. One was about dressing, clothing. One was about what we consider not even doing is not doing. Stay away from haram. So taqwa is not about just do stuff. It's actually to forbid as well. It's about prevention as well as action. So when you bring all these qualities, Imam Ali salam has a famous sermon, Khutbah Muttaqeen. When you read this, if you understand the meaning of it, you will be scared. Listed there. We have this companion, Humam. He came to Imam Ali salam and said, describe me a muttaqi. Describe me who is a person of taqwa. And Imam at the beginning told him, go do what you're doing. When he finished, fainted. And when he became conscious, he would look at Imam Ali salam and said, to be pious. And Imam said, direction for mulaqi. That you constantly must struggle to get better and better. When you talk about dunya, it's not going to happen right away, overnight. I can't become Zahid overnight. But I can is that eventually at the same level as a teenager. Teenager's attachment to his or her stuff is different. A child literally cry, right? At 5 years old, try to take away their toys. What are they going to do? Throw a tantrum, right? They create a big deal out of that just to taking a small toy from them. Because that's part of our nature, attachment to things. But as we grow up, we can't stay at that level. We have to struggle. كَادِحٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ كَدْحًا فَمُلَاقِيهِ. Until you meet Allah. Until you leave this dunya and you see the realities and the certainty happens. You have to struggle. You have to get closer to detach yourself eventually, gradually. Same thing is about taqwa. I can't be, when I look at the list of Imam Ali or when I look at the dua of Imam Sajjad, I can't say, overnight I'm going to have all of them. But what I can do is practically start to work on them. I'm going to, inshallah, finish with the last statement. And Imam alayhi salam said, Ya Allah, adorn me to be a salih, to be a reformer, to don't be selfish and self-centered, to care for others, spiritually, as well as it's good that we do earthly. They need assistance and help, because Quran calls individuals who are physically alive but dead. Bal ahya'un, there are those who give their life for the sake of Allah, like Imam was saying, but they're living. And they're opposite of that as well. Those who are living, but wala rijal, they're shadows of the man, but there's no man. That their presence and lack of presence make no difference. Saleh, to be responsible for others, to feel our responsibility and contribute, to be muttaqi, to work. I'm going to inshallah talk about that. It's about the importance of resolution when it comes to conflict resolution. Not to add to the conflicts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these nights that we commemorate the Shahada of Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam give us the tawfiq to learn from the message of Imam Zain al-Abidin, to learn from the message of Ahlul Bayt, message of the Holy Prophet and the message of the Holy Quran, inshaAllah. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to honor us, that our du'as and prayers, especially about the Imam of our time, for the health of it, and give us the tawfiq to be worthy enough to be called the Shia Ajlallah Ta'ala Faraj al-Sharif, inshaAllah. Allah. I'm going to give you 1 minute etiquette of Azadari and Musibah. First of all, when we participate, even in English, Urdu, Farsi, whatever language we participate, always keep in mind when it comes to the moment of Musibah, which means the moment of, it is reminded that our attitude, our behavior, our even facial gestures could impact people around us and even the majlis. When somebody lost someone very dear to them, a loved one, you will not smile. So in the time of musibah is being recited, so even if it's, as I said, you want to talk about something, you want to, say something that could be humorous, leave that after the musibah. That's the moment to remember the tragedies of the Master of the Youth of Paradise, the Master of the Shuhada. Secondly is when the salam is being recited, it's up to you. You can place your hand on your heart, or you just can place your hand down, but recite the salam. The Prophet ﷺ said, when the musibah, when the tragedies of Ahlul Bayt are being recited, do one of the three. Be one of the three. One is to recite it yourself, be a reciter. Number two, be the one who listens and could by the attitude of the one who wants to cry. Place your head down. Try to put yourself in that emotion that not going to happen. Place our head down and try to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the softness of the heart. That we need that fragile emotion sometimes to be affected by the musibah. If a heart, jumudul ain, those who are not able to cry at all. Sometimes it happens that one night you can't cry, that's perfectly normal. But if somebody is not able to cry at all, that's the sign of the isawatul qalb, is a sign of the hardness of the heart, which is due to the extensive series of sins. That, Ya Allah, we have nothing but tears before you, so much value. And you promised that. That when Yaqub alayhi salam cried for Yusuf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listened to the dua of Yaqub differently. The tears of madhlum, the tears of oppressed, we have that will definitely increase the chance of a dua to be answered. So let's say the salam to Imam Zain al-Abidin, the eyes of the head, all lights, and the oppressed Ahlul Bayt are oppressed even after their burial. May Allah accept our salam and give us the tawfiq to be a visitor very soon, the visitor of Baghi, inshaAllah. Assalamu alayka ya Abal Hussein ya Zain al-Abidin ya ala khalqi ya Sayyidana wa Mawlana inna ashfa'na وتوسلنا بك يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا يا عند الله اشفع لنا. When Imam Zain al-Abidin is after the tragedy of Karbala, One of the companions came and asked Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam that you are awliya Allah. You know that musibah, shahasas of life for the awliya Allah. Why you cry so much? Years after the tragedy of Karbala, still we see you in different occasions that you have tears in your eyes. And Imam alayhi salam said, the reason I cry is not for the shahadat of Abu Abdullah and Hussein and my father. Our tradition, our sunnah of Ahlul Bayt is shahada. My them, we are accustomed to shahada. That in the history of our, but they took my family, my aunt and my sisters. They were in chain and they were showcased in the cities of Kufa and Sham. That's the pain that I can never forget. That as a ghayratullah, as the one who stand for the, how you can be in chain and you see the honor of your, that's the musibah, the asarad and captivity. And one of the greatest tragedy for Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam is the musibah of a 3-year-old daughter of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. In some maqatil name as Sakina, in some name as Ruqayya, is the same girls that we have in maqatil. This child, this daughter of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, those who have children, they pretty much can experience the pain much more. That she was so attached to Imam Hussein alayhi salam that in every Shah, Zainab salamullah, when my father will be back, when I will be able to see my father Hussein. And Hazrat Zainab used to comfort her and tell her, you know, your dad went to a trip, he will be back. But one night in the ruins of Sham, Ruqayya woke up. She had a dream. She came to Hazrat Zainab salamullah alayha and said, my aunt Zainab, I saw my father tonight in my dream and he told me that he will be with me soon. I can't. Ruqayya said these words, the entire family of Imam al-Hussein started to cry, and the tears and the loud crying of the Ahlul Bayt of Hussein reached the mansion of Yazid, and Yazid la'anatullah heard the crying and woke up and said, what's happening? What they want? Give them what they want. And after the soldiers and the spies came back and said, Yazid, the young daughter of Hussein, want her father. So took the head of Hussein for her. She will understand. Imagine 3-year-old daughter, salamullah alayha. She looked at the head, how she can fathom and understand that the head of father is here without the body. She picked up the head of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam and started talking to the attack, and they burned down the tents. Where were you when they come and they stole everything? They ripped up the ears of the children. They stole everything. They didn't even have mercy to our hijab and ma'jar. My father Hussein, where were you when you left us? Your injuries, the blood is all over your face and hair. My father Hussein, where were you? Why in your hair there are the ashes? My father Hussein, where were you when I blocked the tears of Ruqayya and the word of Ruqayya stopped? We have the Zainab salamullah alayha, that she finds some comfort from talking to the head of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, but she saw that the body of Ruqayya is one side and the head of Imam al-Hussein on another. That she wasn't able to tolerate the pain of the loss of the father anymore. When they brought a woman, a ghassala, a woman to wash the body of Ruqayya, she said to Hazrat Zainab that unless you tell me what was the disease of this child. So what do you mean? So when I want to wash the body of bruises, what happened to this child? And Zainab salamullah alayha said, oh woman, you don't know the pain and the musibah of the family of Hussein. This is the body of a child who was struck by the whipping of the enemies. This وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِي اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم. By the honor of your holy book Quran, by the honor of your holy prophet, the seal of Imam al-Hussein, especially Hazrat Ruqayya, Hazrat Sakina Salamullah alayha, istajib da'watana, Ya Allah. Everybody raise your hand and say, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. For those who passed away, we do dua for suffering from poverty, those who are in debt, those who are in prison unjustly, is a dua that covers all the needs. So inshallah, I will recite the dua, and with your ameen, we ask Allah to grant them, inshallah. Allahumma adkhil ala ahli al-qubur as-surur. اللهم أغن كل فقير اللهم أشبع كل جائع اللهم اكسو كل عريان اللهم اقض دين كل مدين اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب اللهم رد كل غريب اللهم فك كل أسير اللهم اصلح كل فاسد بينك اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك اللهم اقض عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات ولشفاء مرضانا ولتعجيل الفرج مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان رحم الله لمن يقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات.
Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, to accompany Bani Hashim. I also want to accompany Qasim. I want to accompany Hashem. Come and see, Uncle has fallen onto his knees, fallen off his horse and all alone. This is the time to help him, I must go. Don't go, my little one, amongst the rocks, amongst the spears, amongst the swords. Look what they did to little Ali here, and Qasim amongst the spears, amongst the swords. Little Ali here, he is holding Abdullah tightly back. With tiny fingers, he wants to go attack. I also want to accompany Qasim. I want to accompany Bani Hashim. I also I want Bani speaking ill. I do not fear. Don't go, my Amana, my Abdullah, into the rain of sharp arrows. Uncle Abbas is nowhere to. Don't go, my Amana, my Abdullah, into the rain of sharp arrows. Uncle Abbas is nowhere to defend you, my tiny little. Holding this tiny boy aback. His tiny voice begs, he wants to go attack. I also want to accompany Qasim. I want to I can see Qasim has appeared, signal to me to go in. For me, I'm all alone, an orphan child with my uncle's smile. Auntie, I have nobody left for me. I'm all alone, an orphan child. Uncle took care of me, who is left for me after my uncle's smile? Auntie is holding Abdullah tightly. Go attack. So what's it? I want to accompany Auntie, oh auntie, can't you see? Uncle is lying on the sandy sea. Soldiers are kicking him left and right. Don't kill my uncle, you don't kill my uncle, oh you enemy. A voice sounds out from within the ditch. Don't come. Hussein is watching Abdullah approach. He's blind with fear. Ya Allah. A voice sounds out from within the ditch. Don't come, my child. Oh, watching the final moments of this reception fall. On spears and swords, this little child wails and crawls. I also want to accompany Qasim. I want to accompany Bani Hashim. I also want to accompany Qasim. I want to Bani Hashim. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله يا خاتم النبيين، السلام عليك يا مولاتنا يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين ويا إمام المتقين علي بن أبي طالب، السلام عليكم أيها الحسن والحسين سبطي نبي الرحمة وسيدي شباب أهل الجنة، السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين زين العابدين، السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي الباقر، السلام عليك يا جعفر بن محمد الصادق، السلام عليك يا موسى بن جعفر الكاظم، السلام عليك يا علي بن موسى الرقي الجواد، السلام عليك يا علي بن محمد الهادي النقي، السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي العسكري الزكي، السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان يا إمام الإنس والجان، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك.